Hey YouTube, Todd back here with another video, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a little walk through kind of a review of Cinesamples' new library, CineHarps. I'm a big fan of Cinesamples, as you already know, and I had their first CineHarp library. So this is, since they've been a company now for 10 years, they're celebrating it with this new library. So they updated the old one and into this new one. So what I thought I was going to do is kind of give some playthrough of all the patches that come with it and compare it to the old version to see maybe if any of you guys are interested. The price for this library is, I think it's $249, so it's a little on the steep side. There is no upgrade option discount that I see so far. Maybe that will be coming within the next week or so. I have not got anything. But I thought I'd just give a walkthrough since I love Cinesamples so much, and I actually use the original CineHarp a lot in a lot of my tracks. So this is a great, vastly improvement on the old one. The sound's amazing, and some of the features that they have under the hood are actually really great. So if you go over to Mike Patty's YouTube channel or Cinesamples YouTube channel, I'll link it below. He gives a complete walkthrough of all the features. I kind of want to stay away from that since he's already did that, and I just kind of want to give my opinions and my first thoughts on some of the patches and the sound. So let's go. All right. So now I'm guessing you guys actually want to hear what this sounds like. I turned off all my reverbs, so this is straight out of Kontakt. There's no reverbs, no plugins or anything. So this is exactly how it sounds, and like I said, excuse my playing. Whoops. As you can see, it sounds really detailed. And for context, what I'll do is I'll do the old CineHarp version, their first library, and you can tell the difference. So as you can see, I think the newer one has a lot more detail. You can hear more crispness into the the pluck of the string and stuff like that. So initially, that's when I first heard it. I actually A/B'd these, and I was like, they sound similar, but when you actually really listen and you put headphones on, you can really hear the difference. I have this on the full mix, but with it, like with all Cinesample libraries, they include the closed room and all that. I always run it full, just because that's what they want you to run. But like I said, they have this new feature, perspective off, in which this does is if you turn this on, if you're using your mod wheel, it will change from full, close, room, surround mics. It will kind of adjust those that way. Like I said, go over to Mike Patty's or Cinesamples YouTube channel, and he has a great walkthrough. I just kind of want to talk about the individual patches and how they sound and compare to the old library. And I'm actually going to compare this to EastWest CineHarp Spitfire harp to kind of give you guys a sense of if this is really worth an upgrade, whichever one you're looking at. So that's the Concert Harp. That's the main patch. So you got the Harp Gliss and Glissandi, sorry. And so it's basically like the old one. If you hit a key, it will play that Glissandi, which sounds really great. You can hear, especially when I have headphones on, I could really hear the texture and the depth in this. And like I said, if you really want to get away from that, this is the settings I got: major and the short. You can change this, medium, long, and you can change the actual scale right here. But like I said, with the Concert Harp patch, the main patch, you can actually go in there and create your own Glissandis yourself by switching the pedals, and then it mapped to your keyboard, and you can play it out like normal if you want to. This is just if you just want to throw something in, have it in there for you. So that's what this patch is. Great patch. If you want to hear from the original, here's the original one from CineHarp. I can already tell the difference. If this one sounds, it doesn't have the depth and the clarity as the new one does. I can hear it. Oh yeah, that sounds way better. So anyway, so that's there, and then it has an ad lib. So basically, all the patches from here on out are kind of like variations on that. But I think if you wanted to run, your main patch would be your Concert Harp. So this is the ad lib. So this is just them, basically having the player do whatever they want to do, just ad lib it, which is kind of cool. Bring some, more variety into your pieces. So let's go in here to the Harp Harmonics. I actually was playing around with this. This one actually sounds pretty nice. I think it sounds great. I could totally tell using this in a piece, you know, like ending a piece or something if you want to go for that real soft thing, but I think it sounds pretty good. This one wasn't offered in the originals. Like I said, in the original CineHarp, there was only 2 patches. So they've really expanded this. So they got Harp Xylophonics. Sounds pretty cool. They got Harp Pedal Buzz FX. So I guess this is, you know, you're doing any sound design kind of thing, or, you know, a real effect, you can use this patch. Bisbigliandi, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names, but sometimes you know, you just have a hard time knowing what they are. So that sounds like them. They're just kind of like, you know, doing like this stuff, and these are just effects patches. Let me pull this up so you can see what the, you know, what the actual patch looks like. There we go. Pretty much they're all the same, and they're all mapped out here. I have all these on full. You can adjust some of the settings. Set 1, set 2. It's got looped, non-looped. I just kind of want to stay away from all the setting stuff, like I said, because Mike Patty's got a really great review on all that stuff. So Harp Scrape. So this is like little scrapes on the strings. Cool for like some effects, you know, if you're doing some scoring and need something in the background, maybe, you know, it's definitely give you some tension. Harp Slide FX. Oh, there we go. I was listening to some of these. These are actually, some of these are kind of cool. You know, like I said, most of these patches you're probably not going to use, but they're there for you because someday you just never know. So here's a Harp Thunder Crash and Palm Slap. Looks like they have it broken up. That's kind of cool. You know, you could totally use that for an effect, or like, you know, if you're in a drama movie or something getting hit. Like that's. So they also include Harp 2 and 3. From what I noticed and what I could tell, they sound pretty much similar, but like Harp 2 sounds pretty much similar to the first Harp, but Harp 3 I thought did sound a little bit different. This one doesn't, this sounds a little bit farther away, so let's compare that to the original one. Yeah, so the Harp 2 sounds like it's panned a little more to the left, and the Concert Harp sounds like it's panned in the middle. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Let me see what some of the settings, I'm not sure if they have all the, yes, so they have the Gliss mode in that patch as well. That's cool. So then Harp 3, I think this one's panned more to the right. Yeah. So it's panned a little more over this way. Concert Harp's in the center, and Harp 2 sounds like it's a little more to your left. And I'm pretty sure that has all the same settings as the rest. Yep. Great. So as you can see, they give you a great variety. So, I mean, you have 3 harps to play with. Like I said, the sound-wise, they all sound pretty much the same. It's just the panning a little bit. I think the detail on Harp 2 and 3 is a little different. They might have EQ'd it differently. So they also have Harp Major Glissandi. So these patches here, this one right here is the kind of like your all-be-all patch here, this Harp Glissandi, where you can create whichever one you want, you know, and it's all in one patch. Well, what I did, I broke these all up into separate patches. So like, hey, I just want the majors, you know, just the major scale. This is the patch for it. So let me open that up so you guys can see it. I like to do that because, you know, what about if I have like a couple parts in my cue to have different scale wise, you know, that I have to reprogram. This just makes it a lot easier. So yeah, this is what that is. And like you go here, if you go to split patches, that's where they're all split out by scale wise. So that's how I like to do it in my template. And so they have all the, you know, the majors here. And then we go into the Harp Pad. So I don't really want to go into the Glissandi scales ones because like you already know, it's all those, you know, Glissandis broken out by each scale. That's it. So These are the part of the extra patches that they include right here, as you can see. So these are all extras that are using the harp to do some effects. So this is Harp Pad, which sounds pretty cool. This could be that could be a cool layered thing that you do. It reminds me of using a volume pedal on a guitar with a couple delays and reverbs. That's what it sounds like to me. So you could do some very ambient kind of things. So that's Harp Pad. And then they have Bass Harp, which is actually kind of cool. It sounds like a bass guitar with a harp. So let's pull that up. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, you just never know where you can use that type of effect. So if you're looking for that low end kind of, hey, I want a bass guitar, but no, I kind of want it still to be a harp. That sounds really cool. So, you know, that's just something added there. Then they have this thing called sub pluck, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty low. Totally use that for an effect too. So that's just kind of an added bonus. Then they got cable snaps. So these kind of just go into like different effects and things. I don't know, you know, how much you would use this in a track. You just never know. And sometimes having this stuff here, you never know when you're going to use it. So this kind of hard to hear this one. So it looks like they just, you know, took the cables and slapped them up on the strings and added some, you know, some reverbs and stuff. So that sounds pretty cool. So actually this mix here looks like they have the close surround on. And like I said, usually when I do these patches and I upload them in a template from Cinesamples, I just use whatever the patch is that they give you for the most part. Sometimes I'll go in and tweak it, but most part I'm just using straight full mix or whatever they give you. So this is actually kind of funny. This is Harp Dubstep. So so if you use the mod wheel, now listen to this. It makes it sound like dubstep. Let me open that up so you guys can see the actual thing. So when you're using your mod wheel here, it controls that like envelope filter. That's kind of cool. You know, that, hey, whatever floats your boat. I think that thing can totally be cool and going into another section or something, bring in, you know, some new variety to your tracks. So this one's the sitar. So it's not actually a sitar, but it's basically the harp sounding like a sitar. I know for guitar players, you know, if you put like a paper clip on by the bridge of the strings, you can get a sitar kind of effect. So I think that's kind of what they did here. It's kind of cool little effect. I mean, it sounds pretty similar to a sitar, but like, you know, if you've heard enough sitars, you can tell that it's not a real sitar, but it's cool. And then they got here banjo. So it's basically a harp simulating a banjo. Which, to me, it sounds like a nylon string guitar. More than a banjo, but I can hear the banjo in it. But to me, it sounds like a nylon string, you know, like I said, a nylon string guitar. But I think the biggest part for those types of patches are for people that love the sound design. You know, this gives you more things to use for sound design. You can use these patches to do them and come up with some really cool things. So I just wanted to do a brief little walkthrough and kind of give you my thoughts and my first opinions on this library. So let's go ahead and jump into, actually, I'm going to compare using the Spitfire and the actual EastWest harp. I'm trying to think which one I could. Let's do this one. So to give you guys a sense of, you know, the detail and, you know, what harp you might like. There's a lot of harps out there. Like I said, I'm predominantly a Cinesamples guy, and I like Spitfire and I like EastWest, but predominantly I use Cinesamples and EastWest libraries. So let me go back to the CineHarps and let that get in your mind. So that's CineHarps. So let's do the Spitfire one. So if you notice with Spitfire, it's very big, very roomy. That's Air Studios, so I mean it's got that big reverb, which I like. But like I always said in previous videos, sometimes I will not always use CineHarp. I'll go to the Spitfire one because it just works better in the track, or I use the EastWest one because it works better. It just depends on the track you're writing, the cue, and which one works for the track. So that's why I have different harps, because sometimes I'll be playing the CineHarp one, the original one, and it just wouldn't work in a track, and then I go, oh, I'll try the Spitfire one, and it actually works very well. Actually, let me use this patch, the main techniques. I mean, it sounds pretty similar, but that's... So there's Spitfire, and let's go back to the CineHarps. So as you can tell, the Spitfire one feels way back and very roomy. All right, so let's go to the EastWest one. This one, it feels like it's dampered and like really small compared to that Spitfire one and the CineHarp one. The CineHarp one feels like it's right in front of your face. It's very detailed and very bright and crisp. Spitfire feels like it's in a big room and has great detail, and the EastWest one just doesn't seem as big, and it's like smaller to me. But like I said, it just depends on the track you're working for, because that harp might actually work perfect in your track, and then you put the Spitfire one in there, it's just way too big, too massive. So that's why I'm saying it's always good to have a couple of the libraries on hand, just in case if one doesn't work in your track. All right, so I kind of fumbled through this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I just wanted to do a brief overview, go through all the patches. I want to start trying these types of videos in the future, kind of looking at sample libraries that I pick up or that I think that are great. If there's anything else you'd like to see in these videos or me to cover, put those comments below. I love feedback, so I can make these videos better and pertain to you guys. These composers are just starting out and they're looking for this type of thing to help you, because I know when I was getting started, I would love some of these videos that I do. So anyway, if you're watching this video and you liked it, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.